said was, yeah, about 80 to 90% of people would wish death on someone that cut them off in traffic. And if something happened to that person instantaneously, a good chunk of those people would probably feel really bad about that happening. And
what if they didn't?
And then you came up with, oh, I thought about that. And
I have.
so really, you don't get the point. That's why I keep on jokingly, half-assedly say you weren't a very good musician, were you?
And anybody that's listened to past podcasts, well, no, I don't know. Have you talked about that on a podcast? I don't know. I'm so drunk. Again. So are we going to talk about... Wait, we were talking about critical thinking.
Sure, we can talk about critical thinking again.
So you don't
It's not going to help you.
What?
Trying to organize your thoughts into saying something at the very beginning.
How do you know I'm trying to organize my thoughts?
Is that not what you're trying to do? I mean, really, you'd have a lot more luck at just talking about something and trying to drive the conversation.
I don't know about that. I always think critical thinking comes from a classical education.
Good.
The guys that studied history and philosophy and mathematics and all that stuff.
You know what philosophy was, right?
Logic.
Math.
Yeah, logic. I don't know whether to edit that or not.
Why is it still going?
Yes. No, you broke it. But you got a pretty good education. You got a pretty good high school education.
Oh, but my college education sucked. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, all along. So that's like, you just said, if that's the case, then you're an exception to the rule, yeah, in terms of, because you just said US education system's not that great, or people say it's not that great.
I went to college at the time. At the time when they were doing their surveys of what places had the best education. Mm-hmm. Places like South Korea and Japan had the best high school education.
Really?
Or mathematics education.
I wonder where New Zealand is.
Some other country had like the best elementary education in the world. At the time, the United States was considered the best college education system in the world.
I think it's probably still up there.
If it is, then the rest of the world has gone downhill with the United States. But that would make sense because, we're all pretty interconnected.
So would you say that I am a critical thinker or not?
I don't see how that's important.
Well, I don't think I'm particularly good at critical thinking, but I think because...
Well, lucky for you, the experts say that the more you do it, the better you are at it. It's like a beaver and making a dam.
So I think lawyers are probably better critical thinkers.
Well, supposedly that's what lawyers are sent to school to learn.
Right.
But it seems in the last decade, everyone has lost their ever-loving minds. And, we'll go with the more recent stuff. All the medical experts sit there and say, hey, you need to physically distance yourself so that you don't spread this virus. And then a whole bunch of people decided to protest and show solidarity and started amassing together. And these same scientists then, did an open letter saying, you know what, it's okay for you not to physically distance yourself because this is too important.
Yeah, because it's political. Coronavirus decides depending on your political persuasion. See, that's crazy. I don't know. Did people really come out and say that, though?
Yeah. I think there was an open letter.
That might have been there
was an open letter signed.
Right-wing news.
Maybe. I do also remember that the World Health Organization came out, or if there were some people that came out, I think it was the World Health Organization, came out and said, when it said stuff that these people believed in, they're like, listen to the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization came out with, you know what, the chances of you catching SARS-CoV-2 from touching something that someone else had touched before is relatively low. All of a sudden, there was a lot of coverage saying, you really shouldn't listen to the World Health Organization about that. And then all of a sudden, ta-da! According to, you told me this, the World Health Organization says, you know what, that thing that we said a couple of weeks ago about you probably won't catch something if someone with SARS-CoV-2 touched it and you touch it, we're going to take that back.
Yeah, it just changes.
I don't know if there was anything
No,
done.
it was the other way around.
What?
World Health Organization said for a start that they thought that it hung around on things for ages.
Well, then they said that, then they said it didn't, and now they're saying it does again.
Yeah, maybe I don't.
I just heard the one where they said it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and they also said that people that already have had it, who are carriers, can't really pass it on to that many people. I believe. So it's just. And so, like, what happens now? So, if there's like a spike or it goes up again, what are they going to do? Tell people to go back into their houses?
Who cares?
I mean, like, at that point, people have to say no.
Well, people will say or do whatever they want to say or do, but again, that. To me, you asking that question of
What happens if someone sits there and says, you gotta do this after they done?
my whole point is, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
I don't think it makes any difference. Remember, you decide what you want to do, and then you back your ass into what you're going to do by gathering up the information or the facts or the statements or whatever as evidence that you like.
I think a lot of times what people say is fake. Like when they say they're concerned or thank you or any of that stuff. Like, I don't know that people really mean it.
Again,
Like someone was like,
my same statement from before kind of applies again.
someone said to me, "Oh, I hope that employer that you're working for is doing something to keep all you guys safe." And I'm like, "Do you really? Do you really hope? And like, why are you saying that?"
Well, I'm pretty sure that they did as much as anyone would. I mean, you don't want to seem like a psychopath or a sociopath, right? So when people sit there and say, "Oh, I care about this," or "This is important to me," I'm like,
But
okay.
even that statement in itself of "I hope somebody's doing something," like to me that was like a pointed statement in itself.
Okay,
Just
well,
saying that.
do you think everyone are you saying that you believe everyone has an ulterior motive for everything?
Yes, I think that everything that people say is like politically motivated a lot of the time.
Everyone, including you, or everyone excluding you, or
Excluding me.
okay, well that's okay.
And particularly like the left-leaning folks. They'll always say something like that like they're coming from a place of caring, but they're really trying to tell you what they think and that they think that you should, be in line with.
I don't
They want you to know.
necessarily think that is a left-leaning objective. I think that there are people that have that objective in mind or lean that way, and they decide to go to that philosophy because it fits.
Like it would be like someone saying, "Oh, I can't believe those people are socializing," or "I can't believe those people are on the beach just, not physically distancing." And I'm like, well, how do you know that they're the crazy ones? Maybe you're the crazy one sitting in your house. Maybe being in your house is really bad.
I don't necessarily think that that's a person that's sitting in their house.
Did saying that?
Are you talking about something you saw on TV, or are you talking about a conversation?
Oh, I'm
you had with
thinking
someone?
about a specific example about a conversation I had with somebody, and I think
And that person was in their house.
they were actually out of their house when we had the conversation.
So that person doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Well, they were wearing a mask.
Again, they're wearing a mask because they think that sends the proper signals to everybody else. Most of the things that people do in life is not because they want to do it.
What?
Well, actually, no, I take that
What?
back. Most of the things that people do in life is really just about conforming. So, yes, they will want to do it because they want to conform.
Right.
Why do people wear clothes when they're walking around outside? Well, probably because if you don't, then a policeman will come or a policewoman will come and arrest you, but also because you will look strange walking around bare ass naked when everybody else is covered. I mean, that's the whole idea about the mask, right? Is to show your solidarity with the group.
I don't know about that. I mean, the mask is because it's what we were told to wear.
Isn't that what I just said?
The solidarity with the group.
We're told to wear the mask. If we're told to shove your thumb up your butt while you're walking around outside, how many people do you think would do that?
Nobody.
You know what? I'm thinking that there would be enough to make a tipping point that if you didn't walk around doing it, something bad would happen to you.
Leave it to you to come up with an example like that.
It's a little off the wall, yeah, I know. But the whole mask thing. I mean, why isn't industry going into overdrive trying to make the right type of masks for everyone to wear? Because supposedly, right, there's a kind of mask that's actually works. It has a tight seal on your face and whatnot, and that you need all this stuff to happen. Why hasn't there been like, look, I understand that it takes time to start making stuff like this, and you know, for many years it's been offloaded to other countries, but this country has had what, at least 3 months? Yeah, about 3 months to switch on over. If it's that important, why do that? Why do all the health experts and not the health experts? Why do all the places, the powers that be, say you need to cover your face? You know, you can use a frickin' bandana. That's good enough. But don't use these high-grade masks that should be for medical professionals.
Right.
If it was that important, how come industry has not gone into overdrive making those things? What is it? Is it a shortage of materials? Would it be too cost prohibitive?
I've seen some of the N95 masks that don't look that fancy.
Well, yeah, but you know that's not the point.
Yeah, the point is it hasn't happened. Shit. Why hasn't it happened?
I don't know, and I sound like a broken record with this next part, but I don't particularly care. I mean, I care in as much as a mammal should care.
Wait, are you a conspiracy theorist, though?
What do you mean?
Do you believe in conspiracy theories? Because that would be a conspiracy theory,
What?
right? The reason that people aren't making the masks is either A, coronavirus isn't as serious as we've all been led to believe, or B, it is serious, but they just don't care that it's going to kill off a whole lot of people.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know a lot of things. And I'm so unimportant, nobody really cares what I think.
Because that's like a scary thought to me.
That I'm so unimportant, nobody cares what I think?
Yes. No, just the killing off thing.
There are definitely people that really don't care about people in the academic sense.
But everybody pretends to care.
Well, if you sit there walking around saying, I want half the population to die, or I don't care about this, or I mean, you sound like a crazy person.
Yeah. But that just shows you what BS a lot of stuff is.
Well, if you want to live in a group, don't you have to kind of have the acceptance of the group?
Yeah. But we don't even, we live in these giant populations now. We don't even the group doesn't really do much for us.
Only the people that, what are you talking about? Only the people that live in the big cities. I mean, I don't get I don't understand what you're talking about.
Well, we're not living in a village. We're living in a if you're living in a city like LA, there's nobody who's coming to there's no group that's taking care of you.
Why should a group have to take care of you?
Well, you take care of everyone, other people in the group, and the other people in the group support you. I mean, that's like the whole village concept, isn't it?
I think that's a bullshit concept that was started by someone who doesn't live in a village.
Well, that's what I think of when I think of a village.
Again, my statement still stands. And now that and knowing what I know about you, I know that you've never lived in a village. So, you know.
I've lived in a small town. I mean, you know, small-ish sized town.
I mean, when I think of village, I think of a place with no more than 50 to 100 people with no more than 5 or 6 families.
Oh. Well, I'm thinking of between that size and the size of a town.
The bigger you get, I mean, look, it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is kind of off the subject, but you either want strong laws or strong families. Strong government or strong families. There's no two. And this is a very binary choice.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but see, people want both.
can't have both.
I think people want both.
All kinds of people want all kinds of things, and we talked about the cake and eat it too phenomenon, and I don't necessarily think that it's a bad one. Only when you want two unrealistic things to happen. Like, I want to eat as much as I want to eat and yet be totally physically fit and thin. That's just not going to happen. Unless all I want to eat is grass. Well, no, then I die because I'm not a cow. But in the whole government, the more lawless and less governed an area is, the stronger family becomes. And when I say family, I'm talking about cousins, I'm talking about your clan, your relatives.
The more lawless.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If the police will come 2 days after you call them, then you're going to need someone to come right now.
Yeah.
Who can you rely upon more than the people that you're related to?
Nobody.
By some kind of blood or, marriage. Now, the stronger that a government is, the less impact a family would have by, and I'm talking about your extended family.
Right.
And I think it's been shown out to happen. I mean, look at Europe, right? The governments are really strong. The government's like, I'm going to take care of everything. Or the people expect the government to take care of just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no families over there.
Yeah.
People ain't having kids.
The government's not taking care of everything.
Well, no, the government is taking care of everything, so I don't need to. In fact, the family is disintegrated so much they're trying to import. Also because they're cheaper, the imports.
It's stupid.
That's a value judgment that's pretty subjective.
I don't want government because the government can't do everything for you. That's
but
just
you
a
do.
fact.
Is the funny thing about it?
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do. You're all like,
no,
well,
I don't think I don't.
You told me you're sitting there saying that there should be some kind of safety net and government needs to do this and do that. And you're like, wow.
I have noticed that people talk about wanting to be independent, but then as soon as their shit go down, you see a video and they're like, "Where's the fucking police?"
I always thought
Whereas
that was
this
funny
guy's getting
too.
beaten up, and I'm like, "Well, you're fucking recording it."
I always thought that
Saying,
was
"Where's
funny
the
too.
police?"
I always thought it was funny that someone who was doing really well would say stuff like, "I don't want the government to be interfering in me. Let me fail." It's like, well, okay. I'm pretty sure the second you start failing, you'd be like, "Well, where's my help?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same principle, I suppose.
So I take these people, and I sit there and wonder. I do my thought experiments, and I'm like, okay, because all these people the people that I've met that have been the most successful, I would not consider that their success is commensurate with their abilities or with their abilities.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the people that I would consider super smart or of like that have attained a high level of knowledge or seem to have 20 cylinders instead of 8 go firing in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met a person like that was particularly successful.
Yeah. Ugh, that's even worse. That in itself is...
Hell, a lot of the time, those people that I've met barely hang on.
See, that in itself is very... it's just perplexing to me.
But, there it is.